Hey guys, are you a GoPro newbie? Well then stick around because this video is part one of a series that I'm doing that's just for you. So if you meet this criteria of being a GoPro newbie and you want to figure out what to spend your money on, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I'm going to post a new video every week and help you guys out. I'm making a series on what you must have for your GoPro. Now this is just my opinion, but I also think that these are very important, so don't hold me to this. Nothing is written in stone. So buying your first GoPro can be very exciting. The possibilities of what you can record and capture on video now are endless. However, it can also be very overwhelming at first because there's tons and tons of accessories that you can buy, and you'll soon find out that this hobby can get very expensive. So you have to make the decisions on what are the must-haves that you need to have for your GoPro and what you don't really need to have, or maybe what's not important right now. So the first thing you're going to need when you first buy your GoPro, whether you go to Best Buy or you go to Walmart or you order it online, you get your camera in, right? Here I have a GoPro Hero 5, which is just the camera that I happen to have. So you bring this home, you get the battery charged up and you're ready to start recording, right? So you turn this on, you hit record, and maybe you get a message like this: no SD card. Well, guess what? That's because GoPro doesn't come with an SD card. So the number one thing on this list is a micro SD card. You have to have it. You can't do anything without it. Now, I said micro SD card. This is a micro SD card. This is your standard SD card. These are two completely different things: a standard SD card and a micro SD card. Now, if you go to Best Buy or go to whatever store and you buy a regular SD card, you're going to get home and be very disappointed because it's not going to fit in your camera. You must make sure you get a micro SD card. It's just a very small version of a normal standard size SD card. Now this, once you capture your footage and all that, is not going to fit in your computer, so these come with some sort of adapter that the micro SD card goes into, and then you put this in your computer. This is how you offload your footage. Now, I'm no expert on SD cards or anything like that, but there are some few things that you have to look out for when deciding to purchase your SD card. Now, these SD cards or micro SD cards range anywhere from $20 to $180, so it just depends on exactly what you're looking for. But the first thing you want to determine what you want is the size gigabyte card that you want. So these cards come in all sorts of different sizes, which what I mean by sizes are 8 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, 64 gigabytes, and 128, I believe, are the most popular ones. This one that I have just happens to be a 64 gigabyte card, and it does me very well. I usually film at 1080p, usually about 60 frames per second, and I can get about 3 hours. I want to say about 3 hours worth of record time on that. So that for me with one card is plenty than what I need in an outing or a weekend. I've never used up more than that. I've never had to put a second SD card into this camera. The next thing to look into when deciding what card to buy is the read and write speed. There is a difference in the technology in these cards. The read and write speed is very important because if your card is too slow, then your GoPro may give you an error, you may not capture footage, or your GoPro may just freeze up and may not do anything. So the read and write speed is very important. When I was deciding to purchase my SD card, I just did a lot of research online. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, I read some articles, I went to GoPro's website, they have recommendations. But I purchased mine at Best Buy. If you go to Best Buy or go to to a store and look in the SD card section, well, first of all, near the GoPro section, they should have some sort of micro SD card somewhere in that area. So the first thing you want to look for on the packages is something that says that it's compatible with a action camera. A lot of those will say GoPro on there. They'll say 4K compatible, which is a good thing to have because these cameras shoot in 4K if you want that. If not, it's still good to have anyway because you know that it's reading and writing at a speed that will capture all your 4K footage. So look at the packages, read those really well, make sure they're 4K compatible, make sure they're action camera compatible. Most of them will say GoPro, and read those right and read read for the read and write speeds on that SD card. So you should have already done some research. You should know what read and write speeds are good. I'm going to post in the comments below a few articles from online that you can read, and which explains much more in depth on the importance of the read and write speed, and also gives a bunch of recommendations. The most popular brands, I believe, are Sony, ScanDisk, and Lexar. The only one I've ever owned is a ScanDisk. This is the only micro SD card I've ever owned, and it's worked just fine for me. And so this really isn't a tip video, but I will give you a huge tip that you need to do whenever you get home with your micro SD card you put in the camera for the first time. You need to format that micro SD card to your GoPro. If you don't do that, you can still have problems. You can still get error screens. You can still get footage not being recorded, some footage recorded, some not, and you get all kinds of problems with this. You want to make sure that you format that SD card to your GoPro. And this goes for all the GoPro cameras. This just happens to be a Hero 5, so this is the way that this works. So the first thing that you want to do is put your micro SD card into the camera. Put the battery in the camera. And then turn on your GoPro. So you then want to go through your menu screen. Here I have the preferences. Then you want to scroll down until you get to where it says Format SD Card. Hit that button. Now you're going to get options whether to delete or to cancel. So if you just opened up this SD card, then there shouldn't be a problem because there's nothing on the card. But if you've already done some recording before doing this, you want to make sure that all your video is downloaded to your computer or to your phone or whatever, because once you hit delete, it's going to erase this card clean. So when you're ready to do that, you hit the delete button. It's going to delete and format this card to your GoPro. And bam, you're done. Again, the first thing on your list to buy once you buy your GoPro is a micro SD card. There's tons of options out there, so do some research, read some reviews, go to these different websites and figure out what it is that you need. All right, guys and gals, I hope this has been helpful in some sort of way for you. Like I said, this is the first video of the series that I'm doing for all you GoPro newbies out there to let you know exactly what you need, the must-haves for your GoPro. So subscribe so you don't miss anything. I'm gonna try to put out a video at least once a week and wrap this up in a few weeks so that you will have all the knowledge that you need and get all the must-have accessories that you need. Number one on that list, again, is a micro SD card. You can't do anything without it. So make sure you give me a thumbs up if you like this video, if you got anything out of it. I hope so. If you have any comments, concerns, complaints, or questions, leave those below. And again, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything else. And I'll talk to you later. See ya.